What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. As we head into week 6 of college football, we have some super spicy storylines to lock into this week, man. It's a lot of teams that's got a lot to prove still to us, and there's some other teams trying to take some of the big boys down and cut them down to size. Now, I'm wondering, Ohio State, Maryland, could the Buckeyes be on upset alert? Ryan Day's got a lot going on, arguing with Lou Holtz. Are they getting distracted? Hey, I don't know. Colorado maybe getting to catch their breath after 2 back-to-back very emotional games. Now they got Arizona State, and hey, they might get to cruise a little bit. Or will they? On the other side, we're talking Texas, Oklahoma. The Red River rivalry is looking extra spicy as both squads are looking to make history this season. We gotta talk about it all, y'all. But before we get into all that, make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. And join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now back to business. Let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So Colorado has had 2 back-to-back games against ranked opponents, Oregon and USC. Now, they were both emotional games for different reasons. Now, looking ahead, they got Arizona State. Arizona State is bad. Let's just say it plain. Call a spade a spade. That is what it is. I'm sorry. But they're not a good team. They've won 1 game, the lone win coming from Southern Utah. They've gotten the doors blown off of them multiple times this season. They're just not good. On top of that, they're missing their star freshman, Jaden Rashada, who is a 5-star recruit and earned the starting job as a true freshman. With him out, hey man, it's even tougher mountain to climb. And it's funny because we're looking at it, obviously, Shedeur Sanders leading a high-powered offense, and he's having the best season of his career in college. Everybody was talking about, the Power 5 and Power 5 this and Power 5 that, and my man is really putting up numbers. The USC game started ugly, we all know, but he came back firing, and I think he has a huge game this week. The fact that Colorado is a 6-point favorite is borderline disrespectful, but I think they're basing it off the history. The last 6 contests, these teams have split, and last season, Arizona State took down Colorado, but this is a different team that we're seeing this year. This ain't the same Colorado. This is Coach Prime and his Louis bags in town. And it's looking a little bit different around Boulder right now, around that Buffs program. I think the big thing to watch here is, one, the return of Travis Hunter potentially. There's been rumors and rumblings that he could be coming back for this game. I mean, if he needed another week to rest, though, or 2, I think they'll be fine without him. I mean, we've seen the breakout of Omarion Miller. My goodness, where they've been hiding this kid. Another talented receiver, a young freshman that really killed this past Saturday. Miller was the Pac-12 freshman of the week. He caught 7 passes for $196 and 1 tutty, and really single-handedly, along with Shedeur Sanders, sparked this offense and brought them back to life against a tough USC squad. Truthfully, I think they cruise to victory. I think this is going to be open, close, shut. They're going to come handle business, get back rolling. They got to completely get healthy, but I think Shedeur Sanders has a big game. I think Xavier Weaver, Dylan Edwards, Jimmy Horn Jr., I think all of them guys are going to get busy. The biggest thing is getting their star players healthy, man. They got to get healthy. But other than that, the tough part of Colorado's season is over with. You know what I'm saying? They still got some. Now, we're not going to sleep on Oregon State or Washington State or none of those teams, but the tough parts of the season have, come to an end as far as the bulk. They're going to be a little bit more spread out now, so it should be more manageable for Colorado. But this game against Arizona State should be very manageable. Looking at Ohio State, they're welcoming undefeated Maryland squad. And I think it's crazy that their most recent win against Notre Dame, they had a bye week this week, but the most recent win was overshadowed by Coach Ryan Day's beef with Lou Holtz. That's all you hear about. You don't even hear about the performance of this defense and how they're playing, or, basically, because the offense ain't been that great. Basically, though, how good the defense has played. They're not sacking the quarterback, but, hey, they're holding teams. You know what I'm saying? They're holding teams' offenses in check and keeping these guys in positions to win ball games. But could this be a distraction? This squad absolutely doesn't need any type of distractions. The offense has struggled, man. We're used to seeing them put up huge numbers. In the last 6 years, they've averaged at least 40 points per game. Right now, they are 38th in the country in scoring offense. And we're also used to seeing those Ohio State tailbacks dominate year after year and just continue to be productive. But Travion Henderson is currently 43rd in the FBS in yards per carry right now. The line is not getting any type of movement. They're not opening up holes, and the run is getting stuffed. And then on the other side, we're used to seeing them have these superstar quarterbacks. The days of C.J. Stroud and Justin Fields and even Braxton Miller are far over. Kyle McCord is not any of these guys, and he's nowhere near the talent that we're used to seeing at the quarterback position for Ohio State. And I believe his limitations are capping the potential of this offense and possibly the best wide receiver duo in the nation. He's causing them to underperform, in my opinion. The Buckeyes only have 9 plays for 30-plus yards. They're not getting explosive plays. 9 plays for 30-plus yards ties them with schools like Navy, who runs the triple option, and Virginia, who we don't even have to bring up. They're terrible. Their top target, Marvin Harrison Jr., who was supposed to be in the Heisman conversation, only has 17 receptions on the year, while their talented number 2 receiver, Emeka Egbuka, only has 19 catches. Both receivers only have 3 touchdowns right now, and none of their scores have come against Power 5 competition. This is a travesty. This offense is loaded. I will say, though, their defense has come to play. They're second in scoring defense right now, and they're one of 3 teams in the Big Ten East that is allowing fewer than 10 points per game. Yeah, they strapping up. They've only given up 4 touchdowns coming into this week, and they're holding opponents to just 3.1 yards a carry. The only thing is they got to start getting some pressure on the quarterback, straight up. They only got 5 sacks. We're used to the Bosa brothers. We're used to guys coming in and wrecking stuff with that Ohio State defensive line. And if they don't get some pressure on Maryland and Tulia Tagovailoa, they are going to be in trouble. The Terps senior quarterback leads the conference with 1,464 yards through the air. This was a tough game last season for the Buckeyes. They hung around, Maryland did, and they ended up losing 43-30, but it was closer than the score will lead you to believe. And then they got Roman Hemby in that backfield as well, toting that rock. Jashawn Jones and Tay Felton as well are capable targets. This team's got weapons all over the field, and it feels like they're building something special. 5-0. I feel like this team, like they showed us flashes last year, and it's all coming together. I think this is a perfect storm brewing for a potential upset if they cannot shut down this Terps offense, man. Because these guys are fast. They get the ball out quick, and they're looking to eat up yards. Looking at the Red River rivalry, it's going to get spicy. Texas is 5-0, hook 'em horns for the first time since 2009, and OU, Oklahoma, is bouncing back from a down season last year. They have completely revamped this defense. They've got 7 players committed that were in the ESPN 300 ranked highly defensive players. They got them in. They rebuilt. They were giving up all types of crazy points and stats last year, over 30 points a game. They had to retool the defense, and man, they are looking good. Safety Peyton Bowen is one of those freshmen that we talked about, the number 17th overall player in the class. Now, he's already taken charge in that secondary. He leads Oklahoma with 4 passes broken up, and he also has blocked 2 punts already. They've only allowed 54 points all season. That's the fewest by a Big 12 team over the first 5 games since '09. Now, we're used to talking about how explosive that offense is because, of course, they can score points. But the defense is on their way to being historically good. On the other side of the ball, though, the offense is doing what they do. They've scored 50 or more points in 3 of their first 5 games. And this is the first time they've done that since '08. Dylan Gabriel is straight up rolling. He's thrown 15 tutties already, man. What? And they have weapons all over the field per usual. Speed, size, whatever you want. And Marcus Major, Andrew Anthony, Jalil Farouk. The list goes on. Those Sooners are about to be ripping and running, man. This is going to be Texas' the toughest test that they faced so far this season, man. I don't want to hear about that Alabama stuff. This OU team is better than that Alabama team offensively for sure, without a doubt. And on the defensive ball, the numbers on the defensive side of the ball, the numbers don't lie, man. But on the other side, you know what I'm saying? Texas, like we said, they're 5-0. They're rolling. That offensive line is huge, and they like to move things around. They're coming off a huge win against Kansas, who was ranked number 24. They just beat them boys like a drum, to be honest with you. They won by 26 points, and it's the largest win in an AP-ranked matchup since '09. It's a lot of '09 feels going on right now, ain't it? So I will say this, though, and there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, Jaden Daniels didn't play in this game, and that was a big loss. Like, one of the most explosive athletes, talented quarterbacks. In the Big 12, flat out. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the most talented quarterbacks, one of the most talented, most prolific, most productive signal callers. That was a major loss. He's the key to the ignition that drives this vehicle of Kansas. And I was disappointed, flat out, that he couldn't play in this game. And furthermore, Texas has gotten a couple breaks like that where they face multiple backup quarterbacks. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to take nothing away from them, but we have to point out what is going on. I will say, though, Jonathan Brooks is a stud in that backfield replacing Bijan Robinson. He's already got 597 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. Quinn Ewers looks in complete control of this offense in year 2. Xavier Worthy, Jatavion Sanders, you name them, Texas. They got that firepower for you. And then a huge matchup in the SEC East, man. Georgia, the 2-time defending champions. It feels like they ain't lost a game in a hot minute. But Auburn had them on the ropes, and South Carolina gave them some trouble too. So, hey, it could be an upset brewing for them too as well, man. Kentucky coming off a dominant win against Florida, man. They beat the snot out of them boys. 33-14. It was ugly out there, man. So they're coming in. The momentum is building. Coach Mark Stoops has these guys rolling. Ray Davis is running that rock. That man is a monster. I mean, he had 280 yards, 4 touchdowns last week against Florida. So we know coming in what these guys can do. If that offensive line can continue to lean on that defensive line of Georgia, we just saw Georgia give up 200 yards on the ground to Auburn. I'm just saying, Kentucky can come out there and do the same thing, get that ground and pound game going, and really spread these guys out, man. Devin Leary is a capable signal caller. Saw him at NC State, and he's doing the same thing at Kentucky, getting the ball out, letting these playmakers do work, and he can move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's got the capability to open things up with his legs. But if Kentucky can come in and be physical, I think they got a shot. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Georgia has looked suspect at times, especially on the defensive side of the ball, what we're seeing. Guys are scoring on them. Spencer Rattler had them down at one point against South Carolina where he was just shredding them. And then Auburn, like we said, had them on the ropes. They were able to move the ball extremely well and really get between the tackles and find some gaps to run the rock, man. So if you're going to get Georgia, this is the time to do it. Kentucky, all time, has not really stood a chance in this matchup. I think Georgia has taken like the last 13. So, obviously, Georgia's coming in confident. They've got a really talented ball club. Let's not get it twisted. It seems like nobody has an answer for Brock Bowers. I mean, he's a grown man out there. They're looking at him like a generational tight end prospect. They're lining him up all over the field. He can go deep. He can go wide. He can go through the middle of the field. He's dragging people. They're lining them up in the backfield. I don't know. Like, what are you going to do, man? So we'll see how that game pans out. But I think it's going to be physical, and I think that game is going to be determined in the trenches. Also, man, I would love to see a Heisman game from Drake Maye. It would be nice, man. You know what I'm saying? Carolina's got Syracuse. It's going to be a tough matchup. Syracuse coming off a loss, emotional loss. They're going to have something to prove come Saturday, man. So we need Drake. We need the real Drake Maye to please stand up. But that's a wrap for us, man. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. What matchups are you guys watching? Who do we miss? Who do we need to be talking about? What do we need to be watching? Who's your squad? Call them out now. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel. Let me hear y'all's prediction. Let me hear them. Let me hear them. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.